Dogs are not our whole lives, but they make our lives whole, by an unknown author. To me, what this quote means is that our life does not necessarily need to revolve around our dogs, but rather, your dog can be the missing puzzle piece to your life. Dogs can be the greatest companions, and in some cases, they can be the motivation in your life to keep going, to get out of bed in the morning, and in some cases, be the reason for your survival. Today, I'll be informing you of what being a service dog entails of and what kind of services are offered, the type of training that these pooches go through, and the long process of getting them. Service dogs can be used for countless amounts of reasons. In an article by Doctor.com, they actually named the top 10 most popular functions for these dogs. The author Heather Marcoux named guiders as one of the most popular. Surprisingly, guiders are usually used to guide their blind so that they do not hurt themselves while walking, and to name a few examples from the actual guide dog website, they state that guide dogs can lead a person from point A to point B, stop in front of curbs, and steer you away from obstacles in your path, such as tree limbs. Furthermore, they do note that dogs cannot read traffic signals. In a testimony I read from guidedog.org, Stacy, a young 21-year-old who was 3 months away from qualifying as a nurse, suddenly lost her eyesight due to an undiagnosed kidney failure. She also stated that when her accident happened, she was destroyed. She did not feel like herself and became depressed, and she could not navigate on her own anymore as she once did, until she met her dog Toffee, which helps her navigate through life, gets her up in the morning, and lets her be free and be her once again. And until this day, they are inseparable. And now that I've discussed guide dogs and their functions, now let me share with you what kind of training that these dogs go through. Training a guide dog can be very hard. And there's only a limited amounts of breeds that are offered. In a statistic done by Assistance Dogs International, they say that there's only about 23 guide dog training facilities in the whole country. Guide dogs are very hard things to find, especially if you do not live near a training center. It could be nearly impossible. But in a blog that I read by Leader Dogs for the Blind, they provide a video explanation of why service dogs take so long to train. It is because there are typically 4 steps that dogs must go through. The beginning ones are the foundations and basically training, and the last 2 are the advanced and what they call the class level, all of which are done in early stages of a puppy's life. Guide dogs are best suited for this type of The guide dogs that are best suited for this type of job are usually Labradors and Golden Retrievers. Popversity explains why. They say that they prefer Labradors over any other breeds as the ideal puppies for guide dogs because they have less energy, and they also prefer them over German Shepherds, as most are used for police officer services. They quote, "Labradors and Golden Retrievers are much more docile, willing to please and get along, while on the other hand, German Shepherds also need a lot of experience and things to keep them busy, or they become very destructive." And now that you know why Labradors and Golden Retrievers are typically the best type of guide dogs, and now I will share with you why they take so long to train. Now let me share with you the price of a dog and the actual process of getting a service dog. Now, the only way to have a service dog is to qualify for one. The way you do that is by meeting certain criteria. In an article that I read by Pause with a Cause, the author lists some of the qualifications. Number 1 is you must be 14 years or older, have a physical disability, some kind of illness or neurological disorder affecting one or more or all limbs. If the dog is also trained for seizure tasks, individual must have a minimum of 1 seizure per month. Also, if the dog is trained for hearing tasks, individual must have a minimum of moderate to severe but literal hearing loss. Either be physically cognitive, capable of participating in other training processes can go up to, you must be willing to train with them up to 1 hour a day. As far as the process to get the dog, the process may take up to 24 months for the actual application to even get approved. And even then, you're not guaranteed a service dog or a guide dog. For you to know that if you're accepted and that it does not include the maybe of 1 to 4 year wait of trying to even find your perfect match. These puppies can even range to $60,000, which in my opinion is definitely a lot. Service dogs can be the motivation to people with disabilities and may even provide the services that they need. But it is important to consider the long journey. It's starting from their functions, the training process, and lastly, how long it even takes. And to remember that dogs are not our whole lives, but they definitely make our lives whole, by an unknown author.